Da-dun-dun.
Elaborate
Da-da-dun,
now.
da-da-da. It's going. Da-da-dun, da-dun, da-dun, da-da. Dun, dun, da-da-da. Da-dun, dun. All right, we here. We are live.
Cool, cool.
Yes, sir. So, for everyone that is watching now, I'm gonna post this on Twitter too, so that we get some more heads in here. We're gonna answer some questions, have some fun on the YouTube channel, and just kind of do some pregame stuff and talk about what we expect from this team today and whatnot. Um, honestly, have no idea what to expect, but we've talked a lot about the offense and defense moving forward, Anthony. But how are you doing today?
Chilling. I'm ready to watch some football, make some food. I'm making chicken parm today. I'm pretty excited.
Ooh, that's
So,
dope.
yeah, ready to talk some
Okay.
ready to talk some Giants.
Yes,
Yo,
sir.
also Alex, make
Yes,
sure you
sir.
switch the on YouTube. Make it so that it's gallery view so both of our faces are up at the same time. I don't know if you can do
Gotcha.
that, but
Um, hold on. That's a good question. I have no idea. You want to look it up for me?
mm-hmm.
Video settings. Mirror my. Um. Oh wait. Hold on. Oh, wait. There we go. I fixed it.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay,
We are on
let's talk some Giants then.
11.8 points per game. That's all I have to say.
11.8 points per game. How about we haven't scored a touchdown in 10 quarters? It's
Has it
pathetic.
really been 10 quarters?
2 games, and I don't think we scored in the second half of the Chicago game. So it's 10 quarters without a touchdown.
And honestly, this has to be a game where the Giants walk away with at least 3 touchdowns. If they don't, we're talking about a Dallas defense, by the way, that is averaging 36.5 points per game allowed. That's like borderline just. I mean, it is embarrassing. It's the worst defense they've ever had in their franchise history. So, okay. And here's something that I've heard a lot of people say is that if we couldn't do it against the 49ers, how do we expect to do it against the Cowboys? Anthony, do you have any idea the difference between those two teams?
I mean, one is significantly better coached, and one has a significantly worse defense. There's quite a difference between those two teams.
You know what the biggest one is, though? That
Mm.
the 49ers actually have a scheme in place, and Dallas is brand new. Their defense and offense is brand new. So I don't really understand how you even could compare an injured 49ers defense to an injured Dallas defense. They're totally different schemes, totally different teams at different points in their history, and really their current state of the team. Dallas doesn't have both of their starting cornerbacks in Anthony Brown and Cheeto Awuzie. Chidobe Awuzie. Is that how you say his name?
Chidobe? I think Chidobe.
Chidobe Awuzie.
I
Chidobe
don't know.
Awuzie. Either way, the two teams are vastly different. The Giants have a good opportunity to come in here and actually put up points on the board. My biggest concern is can they stop Dak Prescott? And Prescott also has 2 offensive linemen missing today. His starting,
Three.
well, actually 3: left tackle, right tackle, and center. That's 3 players that make up a significant portion of that team, of that offense. I mean, they still have CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Gallup. I mean, they have Brandon Schultz, who's like their fourth. I don't understand how their fourth string tight end is killing it, but Evan Ingram can't even catch the ball. And he was a first round pick. We've seen what he can do. He almost has a similar catch percentage this year compared to his rookie season when he had all those drops, and everyone was like, "Why the hell can't this guy catch the ball?" And Anthony says on a weekly basis, the guy has feet for hands. I mean, like he literally catches like he's trying to clap someone out.
Yeah, that's funny. Zach Alexander in the YouTube chat just commented his friend used to call Evan Engram glass bones, but now since he's healthy, they call him brick hands. It's pretty funny.
Brick hands.
Brick hands.
I like it. I mean,
Feet for
it's pretty
hands, bricks
reasonable.
for hands, butter for fingers. And doesn't know how to
Butterfingers.
catch a
I mean,
football.
whenever I played backyard football back in the day, I would call, if they couldn't catch, I call them Butterfingers, which is totally
Yeah.
reasonable for Dallas, for Evan Ingram right now, because I think he only has about 138 yards to his name and 17 receptions, 0 touchdowns. And he's supposed to be our big body wide receiver, or rather just pass catcher in the red zone. We can't even get in the red zone. So how do we expect this team to compete when your best red zone option, when Sterling Shepard is out, can't even get there? And, they're already featuring Devonta Freeman on all their graphics now because they're like, we don't have anybody else. We don't have anyone that's reasonable enough that we can put on those and say, we feel confident. I don't really understand it. What, do you think Devonta Freeman has a big game today?
I mean, probably not. It's the Giants who will have a big game. I don't know. It goes one of two ways today, in my opinion. It's either we get blown out or we get into a shootout. So it's either because Dallas is going to drop a lot of points, I think. I know our defense has been playing really well, but Dallas has been averaging like 35 points per game on offense as well. So they're going to go off today and score like at least 3 to 4 touchdowns. It's just, can our offense do the same thing? Can we score 3 touchdowns? Like I said, we haven't scored a touchdown in 10 quarters. So I'm not extremely confident, but if there was ever a week for the Giants offense to break out, for Daniel Jones to have a big game, for us to score 30-something points, this is the week. You mentioned that Dallas is allowing 35 points per game as well. So, if Daniel Jones and the Giants offense are going to break out, it's going to happen today, or it's not going to happen and Dallas is going to blow us out. To me, it goes one of two ways.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty reasonable. I think having a bad defense is a better matchup if you're playing the worst offense in the NFL. I get they're allowing 36.5 points. The Giants are only averaging 11.8 points per game. I'm sitting here like, I think that this matchup actually favors Dallas because you can scheme out on defense specific players. You can scheme out Darius Slayton. You can literally force the ball to Evan Ingram, and he's essentially awaiting turnover because, he'll slip. Daniel Jones throws a turnover or whatnot. But shout out to Zach, who's been awesome and engaging, and Jan as well, a longtime fans of ours. Just got to give them that shout out because they deserve the respect from the Fireside Giant squad. And Zach's asking, what quarter do you think you'll have to bust out the tequila bottle?
Bust it out now.
I was going to say, look, you see this water bottle right here? Full of
Straight
tequila. Absolutely full of tequila. I just hide it now so my girlfriend doesn't get mad at me. It's 12:18 in the afternoon. I got to conceal the tequila a little bit.
That's nuts. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah,
Alex is about to be hammered by the end of the stream.
I know. Well, I have to go hammered into the Giants game. Otherwise, how do I survive? How do you survive watching a team turn the ball over consistently? And, I really want to talk about Daniel Jones. And I can't get away from it because it's been like haunting me in my dreams lately. And look, if you watched Trevor Lawrence yesterday, he looks legit, man. If you give him a good offensive scheme with creativity and get him some time in the pocket, this guy Trevor Lawrence is as close to a surefire generational talent as you can get in the NFL coming out of college. Now, my only concern is that does that mean you have to give up on Daniel Jones too early? And I actually think that Daniel Jones is capable of a lot more. We talked about this on the podcast. If you didn't hear this portion of the podcast, I said specifically with Anthony that they have been containing Daniel Jones. They haven't let him go off script. They haven't let him really utilize his senses and his instincts to make plays. The one play that we saw him do that was against the San Francisco 49ers. It was an offside play. He throws a beautiful back shoulder pass to Darius Slayton. Where the hell has that been all year? Where the hell did Darius Slayton go after week 1? He had 2 touchdowns, 100 yards receiving. Suddenly, Jason Garrett's like, you know what? I honestly, at this point, I'm almost on the boat. Like, I think Jason Garrett came here to completely dismember the offense for the Giants. I actually think this is like a sabotage move by Jason Garrett. He doesn't actually want this unit to be good because what we've seen from him has been borderline malpractice. Last week, Evan Ingram didn't run a single route over 15 yards. There is no exception. I get that Daniel Jones has not too much time in the pocket, but you have to stretch the field. You have to open up the field. Otherwise, the safeties just move forward. They contain the middle of the field. They push it between 10 yards, and suddenly you're throwing in zone coverage when there's 7 guys right 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. You can't do that. You have to push Evan Ingram down the field. You have to put Darius Slayton down the field. Darius Slayton ran 2 routes last week, 2 routes that were beyond 20 yards. Tell me how that doesn't sound like malpractice to you.
Well, did you watch film breakdown I posted yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so there was that play, 2nd and 10, a minute and 24 seconds left in the fourth quarter. We have the ball at around the 40, 35-yard line or something, right? And everybody ran routes that were over 15 yards. But they did it against this deep zone coverage that expected everybody to run routes at least 15 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single option underneath. Garrett just sent everybody deep. And Jones is just standing there with the ball in his hands like, what do I do? Because the pocket starts to collapse. Luckily, Jones gets out of the pocket, takes off, and gains 15 yards, or however many he did. So it was an impressive play by Daniel Jones, but the play call was just so bad. I mean, there was no need to do that. We had plenty of time on the clock. We had a timeout. We could throw it 5 yards, get down, and call a timeout. You know, there's a minute and 24 seconds left on the clock. Like, we have plenty of time. And I guess Jason Garrett didn't get that memo. I think his play calling this year has all around been very poor. But I also got to say, you brought up a little Trevor Lawrence talk. I still think it's a little too soon to have that conversation. I think tomorrow we will be having the conversation officially, depending on how today's game goes. Because, like I said, if Daniel Jones doesn't break out against this defense, it's time to get concerned. You know, this is the week to do it. If for some reason Daniel Jones can't get the team into the end zone at least 2, 3, hopefully 4 times today against this Cowboys defense, allowing 35 points per game, then we got to have a talk about Daniel Jones. Seriously.
Yeah. No, I agree. And, as White Lotus just said in the chat, Jones makes the same mistakes every week. Stares down receivers, holds onto the ball too long. It's agonizing, brutal decision-making. What we saw last year was totally different than what we're seeing this year, which makes me think that it's more scheme-related. When I'm looking at Jason Garrett, I'm seeing a few things, and Dan Orlovsky actually hit on this too. Daniel Jones is not going past his first read. He's double clutching. He's waiting too long. There has to be more throws underneath. Like you said, if you're going to put everyone deep, you have to have some throws underneath. Devonta Freeman is one of the best wide receiving catching running backs in the NFL. And then you have a guy like Golden Tate, who you need to get into space. We need to see more wide receiver screens from Golden Tate. That's a huge thing that the Giants are missing, is getting their best players into position to actually succeed. Golden Tate should be a wide receiver screen guy, short yardage, yards after catch receiver. That's what he's been his entire career. But suddenly you have them like throwing to him 15 yards downfield, which you can do, but you have to be more practical with the way you're operating this offense. It doesn't make much sense to me how Jason Garrett's doing it now. Obviously, the running game has been a complete mess. And, that actually falls a lot on Andrew Thomas. And I want to talk about him for a second, because everyone's probably wondering, why the hell is Andrew Thomas not considered one of the top rookie offensive linemen this year? They have Tristan Morris as the top right tackle, who let alone was awful this past week against who they play on Thursday night.
They played the Buccaneers, or they played the Bears. Sorry, the Buccaneers.
Right, they played the Bears, and Tristan Wirfs had a terrible game. You saw Tom Brady screaming his head off. So yeah. I think these PFF rankings are a little bit not skewed, but there just haven't been many good players that you can only have so many good ones. So then you have it left. Obviously, you have Jedrick Wills, who's been awesome, and who's the other one that was really big?
Mekhi Becton.
Obviously, Mekhi Becton. But Andrew Thomas struggling has been a serious concern for me, because he's supposed to be the guy with the highest floor. You know what I mean?
I'm not that concerned by it. I'm not that concerned. I just think the Giants have really faced a lot of tough defenses. Like, even when we faced the 49ers without Nick Bosa, he was still lining up against Eric Armstead, who's really talented. And, there's just been a lot of talent that he's had to go up against. And he's young. He's a rookie. He's learning the ropes. Mark Colombo said it. This team is like 1,000 reps behind in terms of, mini camps, OTAs, and everything like that. This offensive line has zero continuity on it. We have a brand new center, brand new left tackle, brand new right tackle. Only thing that's remained constant is the guards, and one of those guards has been playing very poorly. The constancy really matters, because that's actually one of the things that PFF pointed out going into the season, is those offensive lines that have more carryover from last year, then they perform better than the ones that don't year by year. And the Giants have zero carryover. We have 2 players remaining constant on this line. So we were bound to see a lot of offensive line struggles. even though we made all these improvements, we got all these new guys who were supposed to be better at these positions, we were going to see struggles regardless, especially against the defenses that we were facing. It's just about really, now we've gotten through the first quarter of the season, these 4 weeks, right? Call that the preseason if you want. We went 0-4 in the preseason. That's fine. These next 12 games, let's see if Daniel Jones can break out in this new offensive scheme. Let's see if Andrew Thomas can start to play better. Let's see if all these things that we were hoping to see in the offseason, this, you know, Evan Engram, big body wide receiver, like we were mentioning earlier, we thought all offseason this was going to be his year to break out. Over these next 12 weeks, let's see if this stuff happens. If it doesn't, the conversations begin. Do we move on from this person? Do we move on from that person? I think, if you want to just make the first 4 weeks a grace period, we can. I really don't think you can, but we can do that because they did count. They were real games that counted. But if, unfortunately, Jason Garrett is saying we're still learning our schemes and we're still playing basically a preseason, if that's the narrative he wants to run with, we'll go with that. We'll give him that. But now these next 12 weeks, he better put up or shut up.
Yeah. I mean, that's really it. It's the next 12 weeks. If Jason Garrett doesn't succeed and actually operate this offense at a higher level and do some creative things. And then the only annoying part to me is that even when Jason Garrett's tried to do creative things, it falls back on like Evan Engram, like dropping a pitch and turning the ball over. Like when you do those type of things, it completely demoralizes your offense. And he's like, you know what? I can't trust these guys to make plays. I can't trust to do these crack pitches and jet sweeps. I can't trust them because when Sterling Shepard's out, he's not tossing the ball to Evan Engram crossing the line of scrimmage. There's no way. He already tried it and he fumbled. And at a certain point, you have to just taking out the vanilla portion of it's hard for me to actually comprehend how terrible this team is because the playmakers are the ones making the biggest mistakes.
We've just been bad for so long, man.
I know. It's just been bad for so long. But what I do want to hit on. Quotes? I saw some, but what did he say exactly?
Osi Umenyiora said when he looks at this team, he thinks, what the hell happened? He looks at the last 8 years, we've had one winning season. And if you compare that to the 8 seasons prior when he was on the Giants, right? And we won those 2 Super Bowls in a 4-year span. And you just look at the identity of the team and it's completely changed. We are not the New York Giants that we used to be. Like no one thinks of us the same way. We don't have that hard-nosed, punch you in the mouth style of football anymore. We just have losing seasons. That's really it. And I mean, I don't know. He said basically everything that we've been thinking. And it was very telling to see like a New York Giants legend go out there and say those things and really just be like a voice for the Giants fans. He really sounded like a fan. I mean, I guess he is at this point in his life. So, I mean, it is just depressing when the former players are depressed. It just makes it even worse for the fans, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And every other former player is saying the same thing. Like, what happened to the Giants? What happened to their identity? Why aren't they this team that we are, scared to play? Why are they they're a confidence building matchup for every team these days. You know what I mean? Like the Cowboys right now are probably looking at this like our defense can change the narrative right now because this offense is that bad. Now, AJ had a question. Will we see more Wayne Gallman today? I think we will because I think he had 3 rushes for like 43 yards last week, something crazy. So what he did with limited reps justifies more action. I think last week, Devonta Freeman had about 59% of the offensive snaps compared to 29% the week before. So he's going to get more snaps. He's going to be factored in more into the offense as we go. I think he'll probably hit about 65, 70% of the offensive snaps, and Gallman will get a couple, maybe 5 or 6 rushing attempts. Just see how he does. Try and play the hot hand. That's what I never realized. Like, I love what the defense has done so far. Absolutely love what the defense has done. What the offense has done has been the exact opposite. They haven't replaced players who've been playing poorly, right? Like, think about the defense for a second. When Corey Ballantyne looked like a pile of steaming garbage and was letting guys run by him in one-on-one matchups in the red zone, like falling down at his ankles before the ball even got there, Patrick Graham took him out and benched his ass. Isaac Yiadom benched his ass. Ryan Lewis is in there now. He's an undrafted free agent. This is what we're seeing from the defense, and what they've done has been astronomically different than the offense. He's made in-game adjustments. He's made changes. He's done the right things to put the defense in a place to succeed. Now, tell me exactly what the offense has done. What have they done in the first 4 weeks of the season that's told me they're trying different things to succeed, right? They haven't put Caden Smith in more. They pretty much consistently kept Evan Ingram in the game from 80 to 90% snaps, right? Nobody else has gotten that those same opportunities. Caden Smith should be getting more reps, especially in the receiving game. He's a big body who can make plays. I think that Wayne Gallman should be getting more touches because he looked like he deserves more after last week. I think that Austin Mack should be on the active roster right now instead of Damian Ratley, who's basically just a rental for a year. Develop your freaking guys at the worst case scenario. You're averaging 11.8 per game and you're fielding Damian Ratley as your number 5 guy. Just put in your best, the players that can help you develop and maybe show something that you didn't see before. Like, am I crazy to think that the offense shouldn't be changing anything up right now?
No, and I want to touch on Wayne Gallman real quick and answer AJ's question. I think that Wayne Gallman, personally, I think he should be the lead back here. I know it's running back by committee, so you do play the hot hand, and you want to keep defenses kind of guessing whenever they see a different running back in the backfield. That's like the whole idea of the running back by committee. But to me, Wayne Gallman, I think that he runs with the most purpose. I think that he is the best at going downhill and gaining yardage. I think if you need to just gain a few yards, he can just push ahead and fall forward. That's why I like Gallman the best there. Dion Lewis, we'll see him in passing downs usually. He actually has our only rushing touchdown, which I do think is kind of funny. But I do like the running back by committee right now, Devontae Freeman too. I think that he adds like a lot of a nice dynamic flair to the backfield because he's pretty versatile. But Wayne Gallman, I really like him as just a straight running back one. As Saturday Morning Cartoons just said, Gallman should be running back one. I agree. You also asked another question, Saturday Morning Cartoons, very interesting name. I'd like to see more Tay Crowder and Ryan Lewis. Do you think they'll pull Jones for McCoy? So I like Tay Crowder and Ryan Lewis as well, and I do think we're going to see more of them. I think Tay Crowder actually played significantly better in coverage than any alternative that we've had there. Devontae Downs
has got to go down.
We don't even want to talk about him. Tay Crowder, I still believe Tay Crowder had an interception on that play. I do think the ball hit his knee.
You don't overturn that with inconclusive evidence, by the way.
I thought it was inconclusive. I was screaming my head off when that play got overturned. I was so pissed, man. But Ryan Lewis, I thought he played significantly better than anything else we've had out there too. So do I think they'll pull Jones from McCoy? That's a really, really hot question. I don't think they do it because what do you accomplish in doing that? Your future is not in Colt McCoy. It's either in Daniel Jones or it's in the 2021 NFL draft, really, at this point. So I just think you have to give Jones as much time and as many reps as possible so you can get a full like basis of film to watch in the offseason and make your decision for the future. So I think that Jones's job really is safe no matter what until the offseason.
Right. And let me just say, Daniel Jones is capable of making the plays that we need him to. We've seen it before. That play, like last year against the Buccaneers, 2 guys in his face, launches a ball downfield in double coverage. Darius Slayton's on the run and nails it. You know, we've seen Daniel Jones make plays that you see in franchise quarterbacks. Okay. What we have seen this year is Jones trying to stick to the book way too much in terms of he's trying to do everything perfectly to Jason Garrett's scheme, and it's not working whatsoever. They got to let him go. You know, they really got to let him just go through his progressions, get creative, make plays. He's the Giants' leading rusher through 4 weeks. You know, when our quarterback is on, okay, let me put it in this way. Daniel Jones is on average, he's on pace to outgain Kyler Murray's rushing stats from 2019. That's terrifying to me. Daniel Jones is a pocket passer. He's not a running quarterback. He's able to run, but you do not want Daniel Jones running on every single play. And what we've seen from this defense, this offense so far, has been extremely demoralizing. It makes me think Jason Garrett's time here is running very, very thin because you can't possibly justify keeping a coordinator who has done absolutely nothing to help this team succeed. Nothing. No pre-snap motion. No Evan Ingram beyond 15 yards. Let Daniel Jones get creative. Let him do some option plays. Increase the RPOs. I'm tired of watching this vanilla offense already. And we've been seeing this for freaking years. With Ben McAdoo, it was slants every single play. It was OBJ slant from the right, OBJ slant from the left, OBJ slant from the right, back and forth, back and forth. And then you had Pat Shurmur, who just simply couldn't handle being a head coach with the offensive coordinator play calling duties. And he was also vanilla. He couldn't get things going. And this year, we're just seeing these short routes, underneath routes, base offense. You know, these guys are professional athletes. We should not be seeing a base offense right now under Jason Garrett, who has 10 years of offensive play calling experience, or rather just head coaching experience with the offensive play calling. He was just with Kellen Moore. He was just with Kellen Moore, who had the #1 passing attack in the league, tons of pre-snap motion, tons of great route running. Obviously, they had better talent around him. At least just operate a creative offense. If you turn the ball over trying to make something happen, I'm way more cool with that than watching Daniel Jones throw hook routes to Evan Ingram that turn into interceptions because Evan Ingram slips because he's wearing slippers on the field.
Yeah, here's my thing with Daniel Jones, right? Everybody wants to talk about the way that he's playing and say that he's playing very poorly. He's carrying the team right now. He's been carrying the offense. He just has come up short a few times. He's the leading rusher. He's throwing the ball well for the most part. He's been the entire soul of our team. I was texting my uncle last week during the game, right? And he's like, I don't see it with this kid. He sucks. And I'm like, okay, well, look at the offense. He has done literally everything for this offense. He is taking off with the ball and running, gaining yards on the ground. He's getting out of the pocket when his offensive line fails him. He is literally keeping it alive. If we had Colt McCoy out there, for example, that offense would be so bad it's not even funny. I don't think we'd score another point the rest of the season. It would be really, really ugly and hard to watch. Daniel Jones does make plays. He does have an X factor in his mobility and his legs and his gunslinger mentality whenever he's allowed to use it. Unfortunately, it seems like Jason Garrett has tried to rein him in and tried to make him more of a game manager, and he hasn't been allowed to throw the ball down the field like that. And that's very disappointing because I do think that he flashed a lot of great potential last year when slinging the ball down the field and being ballsy and throwing deep. I just wish we could get to see him do that more. You mentioned that play against Tampa Bay. He's rolling left, throws it right. It was actually one of the best throws I've seen a Giants quarterback make in the past 7 years. So plays like that we've seen way less of this year, and I can't find any other reason to think that that's happening other than Jason Garrett's offensive scheme or Jason Garrett's coaching style. Because, why would Daniel Jones's playing style have changed so much? It's convenient that we have an offensive coordinator, a new one to pin the blame on. But I do think that he really is the person that is causing Daniel Jones to regress like this. And I also want to answer Giants Barry's question real quick. Do I think there's a chance that the Giants do bad enough to get Trevor Lawrence? I think there is probably somewhat of a chance. Yeah. A couple weeks ago, I didn't think there was a chance. I thought we're at least getting 5 wins. We're not getting the first pick. But let's see after today. The last 10 quarters have been very demoralizing with 0 touchdowns scored. So let's see after today how we play against Dallas and their historically bad defense. If we play really poorly, if the offense doesn't get going, then yeah, you know what? I do think that there is a chance that we only win 2-3 games and have a top 3 pick. So let's see after today. This is a conversation for tomorrow once again.
The reality is that I'm kind of in the boat right now that if they can't do anything against this Dallas defense, we're in deep, deep shit, to be honest with you. There is no other team we're going to play this season that has a defense this bad. No other team. This is the worst defense I've seen in a long time. We're talking 36.5 points per game they're allowing on average. That's unheard of. They allowed 49 points last week to the Browns, over 300 rushing yards. They better be running the crap out of Wayne Gallman and Devonta Freeman today. Running the crap out of them. We haven't won the time of possession in any of our first 4 games. The fact that our defense ranks 13th in points allowed per game and 5th in yards allowed per game is mind-blowing. The fact that they have actually been able to record those type of numbers, averaging half of the time of possession on offense that compared to other teams. They've been on the field for a majority of games and still managing to stop them, give the ball back to the offense just for somebody to slip or turnover, dumb turnovers to happen. And I'm honestly just extremely tired of it. This defense is very, very talented. If you keep them off the field, they will only be better. If you put that defense with Seattle, we're talking about Seattle being a Super Bowl team. That's how good this defense could be. You know what I mean? I can't express to you enough how bad the offense looks. It makes the defense look that much better because these guys are gassed and they're still doing well. We're still holding guys within their means. Obviously, San Francisco got carried away, but that's only because we had 1/3 the time of possession they did. You know what I mean? We have to increase those factors if we want the defense to continue to improve. And the offense, on the other hand, Daniel Jones can't be blamed for everything, but there are some things that he's doing wrong. Those staring down receivers and throwing on the run just can't happen. What we saw last week when he tried to throw that ball to Damian Ratley on the sideline that got intercepted at the end, he stared him down for like 3 seconds. Any cornerback in the NFL is going to see that and take advantage. And I think, Anthony, do you think that he's going to solve some of these turnover problems, some of these things he's doing in game that you just can't do at a franchise quarterback level if you want to consider him that? And the one thing that I did notice is that he is cut back on the fumbles exponentially, which is a good sign to me.
Yeah, I definitely think his pocket presence has improved. I think there's no doubt about that. Like, he has shown clear development and progression in that regard, which I think a lot of fans aren't giving him credit for. And I do think he'll get the turnovers down simply because he has to. If he doesn't, he won't have a job with the Giants. Like, he has to get those turnover numbers down, because if he continues to turn the ball over and we continue to lose games and we continue to head towards that first pick, the likelihood of replacing Daniel Jones simply increases. And I hate to say that, because I am one of those people that really believes in Daniel Jones, and I want to see him continue to improve and play better and be the future of this team. But it's hard to really gauge who he is right now, because he's shown those flashes, but he's just shown like a lot of bad too. And it's hard to balance the scale here. Another thing I'll say is, we're talking about this offense a lot, right? And Jason Garrett's play calling and everything. He added the read option to the playbook for a week and then took it out.
What the
We
hell is
better
that
see
about?
that today with this Cowboys rushing defense and how bad it is and how well Daniel Jones has been running the football. We need to see some read options today. I need to see Daniel Jones get out of the pocket and run. I definitely think Jones has a good chance to be the leading rusher again today, simply just because of the offensive line and because of who we're playing. If Jones wants to take off with the football 10 times today, I'm really more than happy to see him do that, as long as he learns how to slide, because that's another thing we got to talk about. Daniel Jones doesn't know how to slide. He likes to take contact. So, I think we have another question. AJ Marshall, John Morrow wants the team to compete in December. Will they?
Not a chance.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem so likely anymore. I don't think they will, but I hope so. But I can't see it happening at this point.
It's probably not going to happen, because the only way it happens is if the NFC East is really that bad and we win every divisional game. That's the only way we're making the playoffs. It's not going to be a wild card. We have to win the division, and we're only 1 game out, 2 games out. So it's definitely possible, but I don't think that they are capable of pushing deep in the year unless the offense just somehow explodes, which I don't see happening. Like you said before, what is it with Jason Garrett just taking out the read option? If you're going to watch Daniel Jones run for his life anyway, you might as well factor it into your game plan. You know what I mean? You might as well build it into your scheme, build it into, your successful crop of plays, not just let him do it. When I say get creative and rely on his instincts, I don't mean running for his life, because what we've seen from the left tackle position in Andrew Thomas, I don't trust him right now in pass protection. And his strength was supposed to be run blocking, and he's been terrible in that facet too. The fact that Cam Brown has been rated our best offensive lineman through 4 weeks is embarrassing. It is embarrassing for what it is. And, I think that if they can solve these offensive problems next year, we're looking at a team that actually is pretty damn good, because the defense is good. All they have to do is solve that CB2 position and find a good pass rusher. And, we're looking at a Giants team that now just really needs a number 1 wide receiver, a step forward for the offensive line. And, that's a lot to ask for, though, because we've been asking Dave Gettleman to fix the offensive line for 3 years now. And here we are with the worst pass protecting line in the NFL once again. Do you see them actually taking a step this game? I think this is probably a statement game for the Giants. Mark Colombo, Jason Garrett, both coming from Dallas. They want to win this one.
Like I've said, this is the game. It's put up or shut up time. It's either the offense breaks out this week or it never does. That's what I think. So they break out this week or they don't, and we go from there. So, yeah, I do think that they should improve today. I think we should see Daniel Jones. He should play the best game of the season. The offensive line should play their best game of the season. The rushing attack should be the best it's looked all season. Will it be? We'll find out in like 4 hours. Hopefully. If not, our mental health, we're going to need another checkup on that tomorrow, because we're all going to be very depressed because if the Giants are 0-5, I'm going to be very sad. Like, that is depressing.
Oh, yeah.
A whole month, an official month, 5 weeks without a win. I mean,
I'm going to talk more positive than that.
I'm getting sad.
We're going to win today, guys. We're winning this game today. We're going to beat Dallas for the first time in a while. And Oh, okay, so a few things. We're gonna do a score prediction. If you have any questions now, leave them before we wrap up, just so we can answer anything. We're gonna be doing this every week before every game. We have, every Tuesday we have our podcast coming out. Every Thursday we're gonna be doing live, not live, but fan mailbags, so you guys can ask us
Maybe we
questions
should
on
make them
Twitter.
live.
We could make them
We should
live.
look into it. We should look into it.
Okay, so we'll look into making them live for you guys. You guys can ask questions. We'll do mailbags, answer questions, whatnot. Maybe we'll get some cool guests on here so you guys can interact. I think that's a really cool idea too. Make this more interactive and just really awesome for the fans, and hopefully, building a really cool community with you guys. So I really appreciate everyone's support before we kind of wrap up. But it's my score prediction for today. I'm just going to pray to the good football gods that we can break 20 points. I'm going to say 24 Giants, 26 Dallas. I hate to say they're going to win, but I just don't see our offense putting up enough points.
Yeah, I'm going with 35-24. Dallas takes the win. I do think that we get some points on the board this week because we simply have to. If not, Jason Garrett's job is on the line. I also need to know, what jersey are you wearing today? I have to show mine off today. I have to flex it because it's my favorite jersey.
That's a pretty cool one.
And I broke it out. Yeah, it's my custom Eli Manning jersey. Let me just stand up and show.
Did you make that?
I did. I got an Eli jersey and I put all the Super Bowl patches. He won 2
That's some cool
NFC championship games. Okay, I don't know where the other one is, and now I'm concerned. Oh, there it is. Captain's patch, Ole Miss, Walter Payton Man of the Year in the Super Bowls. I think the only other patch I got to put, obviously when he gets into the Hall of Fame, that's going right here. And then somewhere else on this jersey, I think I'm going to have to put the coat of arms or the seal of Sigma Nu because he is one of my brothers in Sigma Nu. Okay, fire socks, but now I'm sad because Odell isn't on the team anymore.
I know. LPG gave me these.
Yeah, dude, I have a pair of
Crazy.
I have like a few pairs of Odell socks, and I don't wear them anymore because he's not on the team, so I don't have any reason to.
You want to see something cool? This is
hell yeah, that thing looks fire.
I donated a bunch of money to LPG for charity and won this in an auction. This is super cool. So this is Victor Cruz Super Bowl patch. Bunch of cool ones, and then on the back, obviously Victor Cruz and he signed it.
Wow,
pretty cool. This is one of the coolest ones. So shout out to LPG for this one. Definitely an awesome guy, and always love to see his content. He's the giant super fan. If you've ever seen his man cave, it's like borderline a problem how much of an addict he is. But I have so much respect for him, and hopefully one day we can all come together once COVID's over. We can watch the game together and do some cool tailgating and whatnot. So I'm pretty hyped about the future. We have a lot of stuff planned. Which one?
The Cruz jersey you just showed. That is
fire. I got another one too though. Look at this bad boy.
Yeah.
Right
so fresh you can't take the tags off.
I can't take the tags off. Yeah,
you ever watch Key and Peele?
Yes, of course.
Oh my God. It reminds me of that Key and Peele skit where they have the hats.
Gorgeous.
They've got the brand new hats and they leave the tags on.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Is that the sticker on the front of the New Era?
Yeah. That's what I think of every time I see your Saquon jersey with all of its tags on.
I know. The problem is Saquon's injured, so I can't even wear it right now. I feel almost guilty putting it on. I'm like, ugh. And that's the worst thing. Like that's the worst thing though about buying jerseys is that you spend like $100 to $150 on these awesome jerseys, and then your player eventually leaves. Like the only player that's ever stuck around is Eli Manning, so that's like the only jersey I can actually trust. It's just kind of sad. Like I know, that jersey's sick because that's like a lifetime jersey. He was there for like 14 or like 15 years.
We got space for one more patch on the front, man. Once he gets in the Hall of Fame, it's gonna be on there.
Where's that gonna be on the shoulder? Hey, what's up, Simon?
Yeah.
Got any last questions for us before we log off? I gotta go list. What's that guy's name? Chris, the guy that does Red Zone.
Chris Berman. Zone.
Chris Berman, is that his name?
Oh, Andrew Siciliano. It's Andrew Siciliano who does Red Zone, I thought. Or does he do Fantasy Zone? I don't even know.
No. It's not Andrew Siciliano.
I got to go watch the freaking Panthers game because my roommate's a Panthers fan. So wish me luck with that. Panthers and Falcons.
I wish you luck with that. I'm going to go listen to Red Zone for 7 hours straight. I'm pretty excited about it. I got my tequila going for everyone that's watching right now. Already going.
I have just water because I'm not 21.
Yeah, see, Barry, this jersey, I don't understand why they don't just make the color rush jersey like their home jersey. Like I feel like, or
Or the
even
away
I
jersey.
actually like the red ones. Chris Rose is his name.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. Andrew
I don't know.
Siciliano does the fantasy zone. That's what it is, or whatever it's
Yeah, I
called.
mean, Red Zone's dope though. I love Red Zone. I watch that every single week. I have it on one of
Red
my
zone is dope.
screens that I have up. It is dope. And
Yeah.
honestly,
Giants on
without
one
Red Zone, I
TV,
think
red zone
football
on
would
the other.
exactly every single week. You have to have Red Zone on. How else am I going to keep up with my fantasy team smacking the crap out of people? The alpha male
Yeah. Except for
mentality.
me.
Is your
Yeah.
team terrible?
No, you just smacking everyone but me because I smacked you when we played.
Oh,
It was light
right.
work. It was
I'll
easy.
show you guys. I'll show you guys my team today before we log off. This
Dude,
is
my team is
my
being ravaged by both COVID and injuries.
yeah. Look at
Derrick
this. So this
Henry and all
is
these other guys.
this is my team today. We
Kyler,
got Kyler Murray,
Edwards-Helaire,
Clyde
Devontae
Edwards-Helaire.
Freeman. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, but the only reason I have Devonta Freeman in is because look at my bench. Aaron Jones on a bye week.
You got Le'Veon Bell against
Screws me.
Arizona. That's a good matchup.
Yeah, but I don't trust him coming off a hamstring injury. You feel
I don't
me?
blame you. I don't blame you.
You know, but I got Terry McLaurin, who, now we have Mr. Kyle Allen in at quarterback. So I have no idea how that's going to work. DK Metcalf is a beast. Adam Thielen's a beast. Will Fuller's doing pretty well for me. I don't trust Le'Veon Bell. And honestly, I almost want to start Slayton. But the problem is I already have so many wide receivers in. And I feel like Slayton's going to have a big game because Dallas, they're just going to be taking shots downfield. Apparently, Xavier Woods, their free safety, is like, we don't actually go 100% on every play. Kind of fun to hear that and see what happens.
Yeah. I want to answer Simon's question real quick before we log off. Do we feel McKinney is going to make a huge difference for the defense when he comes back? I know he's a rookie, but he's still very talented and from Alabama. It's a disciplined school. Yes, I do. That was like my big film breakdown that I did a few weeks before the season started. Xavier McKinney, I think, is going to be a star. As long as I don't think this injury is going to be a big problem for him long term. And as long as it isn't, I think he can be a star for the Giants, a star safety. He does a lot. Like, he's excellent in run support. He fills lanes. He's got great play recognition. And his man coverage ability is top tier. He is very good playing man coverage from the safety position. His zone coverage, sometimes he'll get a little lost in the zone, and sometimes he's not quick enough to get from one side of the field to the other in zone, which is when, like, you'll see a player like Justin Herbert's been doing this each week. He's been taking those whole shots down in the sidelines and the cover two because he's got like a cannon for an arm. That's where McKinney might struggle. Get from the hash to the sideline. He might struggle in that department, or if it's single high, he's got to go from the middle of the field to the sideline. He'll definitely struggle there sometimes. But everything else, run support, man coverage, underneath coverage, zone coverage, he's a beast. I do think once he's in the lineup, it will make a huge difference because they really built this defense to have him in there. They built it around him, and then he got injured. So then they had to get Logan Ryan, and then they had to slowly work him in. And the whole chemistry of the defense, the whole flow of the defense has really been messed up. But McKinney is a perfect scheme fit. And once he's in here long term, I really do think he can be a star for this team. And if Jabril Peppers doesn't start to play better and then McKinney comes in, I do think that McKinney could make us question Peppers' long-term standing on this roster as well.
I do agree as well because McKinney, what I love about McKinney is his willingness to move up and stop the run. That's something you don't see from a lot of free safeties, willingness to absolutely shoot gaps and stop the run at a high level. So I really love that about him, his tenacity and aggressiveness. Now, they have Julian Love back there. And last week, he might have been injured. They might have been benching him a little bit. I don't know exactly. But Adrian Colbert came in and played pretty well. So I really like, what they did there to supplement the loss of Peppers. And like you said, though, they played pretty damn well without Peppers last week. So I'm almost on the fringe. Like maybe Peppers isn't a long-term solution for the Giants.
Yeah.
Maybe they have, they have McKinney in that role, kind of rotating with Julian Love. And I mean, Logan Ryan is essentially filling that role too, though. He's only on a 1-year deal.
Here's my thing with this. Julian Love, he's hurt, right? But I do think that they were limiting his snaps performance-based too. And my thing with that is he's playing out of position right now. Everybody thinks Julian Love is a free safety. He's not. We talked to him. He's a strong safety. He should be on the other side of the field, getting down in the box and making plays. That's what he's good at. he's been learning a new position again, like a lot of players on this team, learning new schemes, learning new positions.
Yep.
I think that Julian Love is better suited at strong safety with McKinney at free safety, which I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear that. They would think the other way around. But I
Mm-hmm.
think Love at strong safety and McKinney at free safety is actually the better route to go here. And then, like I said, I'm kind of making this assumption with Jabril Peppers not being a long-term answer, but I guess it remains to be seen what the actual best three-man combination is there. But I do think that Julian Love should play more in the box than he has been.
Right. Yeah. No, I would agree with that. I think Love is actually very capable of stopping the run. We saw it last year when he played strong safety. If you didn't see our interview with him, he told us that he was actually playing a lot of strong safety. And he would actually find himself like creeping up into coverage when he was playing free safety because he just like had no idea what was going on, still learning the system and the different positions. I actually really like him as a utility man, filling positions and being creative. What they did last week was really good with Adrian Colbert, who played pretty well. He had experience with Miami and Patrick Graham last year. So we're going to see a lot of things changing. Patrick Graham is an awesome defensive coordinator for one reason. He doesn't let anything stagnate. He doesn't let his players who are not performing well stay and continue to suck. That's what we've seen in recent years. He's taking those guys out. He's finding ways to get creative. He's finding players to supplement weaknesses. That is something that high-level coordinators do. And Jason Garrett's simply like, let's toss out Evan Ingram to drop more passes and let's have some fun, guys. So I am over that crap. I want to see some creativity. I want to see these guys get open into space, and I want to see Daniel Jones take some shots down the field and at least try to make some plays, even if they turn the ball over. Like, at least do it trying to make plays. But that's it for today's pregame show. We're going to hop on Red Zone. I'm going to watch for the next 7 hours. And obviously for the Giants game, I'll be pumping out video clips and tons of content for you guys to enjoy. Keep up with that. And like I said before, we're going to be doing shows every week. So Tuesday we'll have the podcast. We'll do a live stream on Thursdays or Fridays, and then we'll do the pregame show every Sunday. Tons of more content coming out. I got my Wi-Fi back up finally. We're good to go. And I'm really excited for what the Giants can do on defense and hopefully do on offense. Anthony, I'll give you the last word.
Okay, yep. Let's hope we win. If not, it's going to be depressing. 0-5. I'm not ready to deal with that trauma. So let's hope we get a win today in Dallas. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for interacting in the chat. Always feel free every time we're doing a live stream, come in, ask all your questions, and have some fun with us. Looking forward to doing it again next week and getting some podcasts and other episodes out for you later on in the week. So have a good one, everybody, and enjoy the game today.